I know a leader who slept through the night, the deep and peaceful sleep of a man in command. It wasn't that his world was in control or that the seas were still, but his hand was at the helm and he knew what to do. Let me explain. It hadn't always been like this. Many restless nights he sat there, paralyzed by a dimly lit, uncertain future. He'd been playing it safe, playing it small. There was a hard core, the kind that had to be made. He found himself in a place he'd never been, stuck and alone. Is this what leading is? I had a vision once. I lost it though. Then, slowly, he saw it. A word, a call. Enough of playing it safe, enough of playing it small. He had a vision of the future, and he's chasing after it. Faster, confidently, step after mighty step. And so that night, the leader slept, because he had seen it. He had been to the mountain, and he knew what he needed to do. He found a grander vision.
Almost everywhere I go these days, I hear from leaders that they're running too hard and carrying too many responsibilities. My challenge to anyone in this situation is to get clear about the kind of leader you desire to become, and then to align the activities on your schedule that will help you reach that goal. For me and for the leaders on my team, the Global Leadership Summit is one of the most strategic initiatives we engage in when it comes to our own leadership development. No matter what kind of leader you desire to become, there's just nothing like being in an environment of like-minded men and women, learning from one another how to embrace the grander vision God has called each one of us to. I'm very excited to introduce to you this year's Global Leadership Summit faculty. If you have read enough in leadership recently, one of the names you most certainly would have come across is the name Adam Grant. The youngest tenured professor at Wharton School of Business, his best-selling book, Give and Take, unpacks his pioneering research that concludes that a giving mindset is the best path to getting ahead. Every year, there are a handful of books I recommend as must-read books for leaders. Creativity, Inc. by Ed Catmull is one of these books. As the co-founder and president of Pixar Animation Studios, Ed unpacks the management principles he has used to lead what many consider to be one of the world's most creative companies. For those of you who follow leaders in the financial services sector, you will likely be familiar with Sally Krawcheck, well known as one of the most powerful women on Wall Street. Sally is the former president of Bank of America's Global Wealth and Investment Management and was named the last honest analyst on Wall Street by Fortune magazine and number 9 on Fast Company's list of the 100 most creative people in 2014. One of the unintentional consequences of the summit being held all over the world is that it connects us with vast numbers of fantastic pastors and leaders. Sam Adeyemi is one of these pastors. He is the founder and senior pastor of Daystar Christian Center in Lagos, Nigeria, a church of more than 25,000 that is significantly impacting its community in the midst of complex, challenging, and sometimes heartbreaking circumstances. Many of you know Brian Houston as the founder and senior pastor of Hillsong Church in Sydney, Australia. I've known Brian personally for decades, and he's one of the most gifted and passionate people I know when it comes to the cause of Christ and the local church. Few leaders in the world possess an insatiable curiosity to the depths that I see in Jim Collins. This spurs an inner hunger to understand what works in the organization, what needs fixing, and how to fix it. He's become a great friend and a summit favorite, delivering solid insights into leadership every single time he's a part of our faculty. Are you stewarding well the leadership gifts that God has entrusted to you? In the book of Hebrews, we're told that leaders will give an account to God for the people He has entrusted to them. As the senior leader of our staff and volunteers, I take this responsibility very seriously, especially when it comes to the kind of culture we're trying to develop here at Willow. But a thriving culture does not happen by accident. It takes intentionality on our parts. When it comes to developing your staff and volunteers, where you choose to invest your intentionality will dictate the fruitfulness of your investment. Will your efforts, time, and resources produce actual results that last? Recently, the Willow Creek Association contracted an independent research company to help answer this question in regards to the summit. Among repeat summit attendees, 61% said that their organization is more effective because of clearer vision. 87% feel a greater sense of personal satisfaction and significance. 83% feel improved teamwork has increased their job satisfaction and productivity. And 81% cited concrete ways that their supervisor has become a better leader. For more than 2 decades now, I have experienced the summit's transformational impact in people's lives. And that's why I unashamedly challenge every serious-minded Christ follower I know to attend the summit, regardless of where they lead. I've always felt it's the most fruitful investment leaders can make in those they lead. And now we have the hard data that backs this up. No matter where you lead, the summit is a world-class experience to help you get better and embrace your grander God-designed vision. The full lineup joining me at the summit this year includes Sally Krawcheck, chair of the Elevate Network, former president of Bank of America's Global Wealth and Investment Management; Adam Grant, professor at Wharton School of Business and best-selling author; Brian Houston, founder and senior pastor of Hillsong Church; Ed Catmull, co-founder and president of Pixar Animation Studios; Sam Adeyemi, senior pastor of Daystar Christian Center in Nigeria; Sheila Heen, faculty at Harvard Law School and best-selling author; Jim Collins, nationally acclaimed business thinker and best-selling author; Albert Tate, senior pastor of Fellowship Monrovia in California; Horst Schulze, former president of the Ritz-Carlton Group, current CEO of Capella Hotel Group; Brené Brown, best-selling author and research professor at University of Houston; Liz Wiseman, president of the Wiseman Group and best-selling author; and Craig Rochelle, senior pastor of LifeChurch.tv. I invite you to join me and an expected 260,000 leaders from all around the world for 2 days of vision, inspiration, and countless practical skills you can put to work Monday morning. See you at the summit.